what have we done or what are we doing? We're going back to basics. There's going to be the Ladies' Cup. The Ladies' Cup hopefully will start before May, before the rains start heavily. We were hoping to have done that earlier. But again, we have applied and looked for the support from FIFA. Why are we relying so heavily on FIFA? It's because we live in a society where sponsorship is very difficult to come by. And they just don't subscribe to all these numerous activities that I've just spoken to you about, the grassroots, female football. They're not accustomed to doing that. They will sponsor their Leone stars, and that's just about it. Right. So having to tap on the doors for women's football, they're not going to do it, or they're going to be hesitant, coupled with the fact that the FA is still struggling to clean up its image. So I went to FIFA and asked if they could kickstart this program of having a female league running, and then we could now go and show Sierra Leoneans that this is something that is good for our women, for our female football side, and hopefully get the sponsorship. So we're going to do that, and once we get that, we can have female teams playing continuously. Again, just like I said to you also, in doing so, with the grassroots, we will be tapping into the schools, the girls' schools, and having football on the syllabus.
Okay. Now, a little diversion to another situation here. What's your working relationship with with stakeholders in football in the country? What is that like?
In Sierra Leone, everybody's a stakeholder. My grandmother now has become a football stakeholder. It depends on who you're referring to, because everybody has a take and a say in or around football. I would like to say that it's 100% harmonious. It isn't. I doubt it ever will be, because, as you know, football is very emotional, passionate, and everybody has a take. We're trying to bring together the stakeholders. I have, from day one, I did extend an olive branch. Some people made mention of that branch having thistles or thorns or something like that, but I've always said that I'm open to anybody who is genuine and genuinely wants to work. I don't have all the answers, and I've never proclaimed that. So it could be better. We're working on it.
All right, it could be better. Wonderful. But this brings me to a situation, of course, which is like I'll call the big elephant in the room. The situation between you and Mohamed Kalon the last couple of weeks, which has been all over social media, it's been on the media, and we carried it ourselves on African Sports TV. Do you care to comment on that?
I'd rather not, but
You'd rather not.
I'd rather not, but suffice to say that there are so many other positive things that have been going on and around the FA that in this short space of time I have tried to bring about, and I don't even think 10% of it has been trumpeted or heralded or dispersed in the way that the unfortunate incident with Mohamed has done. I don't subscribe to the bringing down syndrome. I'm subscribing to the bigger picture of promoting Sierra Leone. So this is rather unfortunate. The only thing I can say is Mohamed is and always will be my brother and a good buddy of mine that we go way back on and off pitch. Whatever happened, the game was unfortunate. It's been resolved, and we're moving on. In fact, he's coming over to my home today, and we have a couple of things that we need to go through. So, like with most things, sometimes.
I'm pleased to hear that. I'm pleased to hear that. The most important thing is I would like to bring to your notice is a lot of Sierra Leoneans, despite the fact that this happened between you and someone in football, the rest of the country, basically feels like, both at home and abroad, feels like we were all embarrassed. And so, in a sense, do you feel in your own way that you all the country an apology, besides the personal apology to Mohamed Kalon in having the situation resolved. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to reach out to the rest of the country because this is a program that we put out, and quite a number of people listen to this program. So do you feel that you owe an apology to the rest of the country for what transpired?
Oh, well, absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. And I did apologize to Mohammed. I apologized to Kemal Sisse's. Again, without having to go, it would mean I would have to start going into details as to what happened and why it happened. And, because we're moving on, I don't feel the need to have to do that. Suffice to say that it'll have to take a totally, absolutely a stark raving lunatic to come out of their office, his or her office, go right across the pitch and slap someone.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not disputing what transpired before. What we asking for is just.
But you don't have to ask for an apology. I have offered that apology several times. It's rather unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and this is not the portrayal of either Aisha Johansson or the FA that we would like to see, because so many other positives are happening and have happened before, and it has not been highlighted. And a rather unfortunate, provoked situation has led to the portrayal of Aisha Johansson and the FA. But there you go. These things happen, and I'm profusely sorry about what has happened. It is not. This is not the Aisha Johansson, and it is not the FA under the Aisha Johansson-led FA. So, with that said, I hope that it'll be accepted.
Awesome. Now, thank you very much for that, and I appreciate you doing that. And this will go to a great length to appease a lot of people out there. Now let's go back to talking football, and I hope your situation, it gets to improve from this time on. And I'm thinking. In my mind, I believe you'll deliver as far as improving football in the country. The next thing is we have a number of football players out in the diaspora. What is your diaspora strategy in terms of corralling this kind of players? So there's a guy here, a young player here who plays for the USA on the 17, is over 17 now, Alfred Koroma, who actually is from this Dallas area. Some time ago I spoke to him, and he has actually tried to reach out. He's actually interested. He's actually one of the marquee players. Now the country is getting ready to prepare for the Nations Cup qualifiers. What is your strategy in terms of preparing for successful Nations Cup campaign this time around?
This is a two-way stream. It's a two-way interaction with regards to the players that are out there and their agents or whoever it is would like to get in touch with the FA. The FA is not a shielded force. We have an email address. We have people who you can contact. We've got a technical department. Unfortunately, the website isn't up yet, and I have been extremely disappointed at that, because I think maybe that would have helped a lot in terms of communications. But I have been assured that by the end of this week it will be up and running. If there are players out there, what we've asked several times over, what I've told the Acting Secretary General to do, and what I've asked John Conte, the PRO, to do, is to get them to send a status report of these players. Pictures, names, details, where they're playing, every single fact about these players. If they have tapes, send them, so that we can build an archive. We just don't have the magic of saying, they've got to be, surely there are players out there. Where are they? Let's go, one day announce. Players, you out there, come. They have got to communicate to the FA as well. We need to know who they are, where they are. We have to have evidence that they are playing continuously, and not just some player who's talented sitting on the bench waiting to be called up in his team in England or wherever. We need to know all these details, but we're not getting these. And then, you see, what tends to happen is you've got a friend of a friend of a friend. He knows the player. He knows the boy. He makes some kind of, some kind of contact with somebody in the FA, and it never gets to the right department. We never get the real details. So I'm using this opportunity through your medium to appeal. If you have a player, you know a player, or you are a player, and you want to come and play and represent your country, which is what we are aching for, good, solid, structured, talented players. For goodness sakes, get in touch with the FA, address it to the technical department, okay, and then we will process that and put it together. We're working together with the Ministry of Sports. We're building. We've got a FIFA consultant at the FA now with the technical, assigned to the technical department. So he knows how to process these things professionally. I guess these are all the kinds of information that people out there do not know. And again, it's down to the fact that our website isn't running, but I am telling you now, this is what prevailed. So John Conte's phone number to get in touch. Let people contact you, for instance, and say between now and when the website's up and running, let them contact you. You get in touch with our communications department, and then we will find a way of getting through to these people, to these players, and processing it.
Okay, that is wonderful, and I certainly appreciate that for you putting that word out there, the message out there, and letting people know that this is a two-way street. It's not just a one-way thing. But at the same time, also, do you think the FA ought to have a diaspora point person, somebody that's exclusively responsible to liaise between international players in the FA? I know you already have an executive committee, a team of people in place to do a number of things, but this is something which has become the order of the day in terms of players playing out there, or kids, because we know.
Leslie, I think that's an absolutely brilliant idea. That is an absolutely brilliant idea. For your information, the executive committee, that's really not that's not their role. I mean, we just execute plans, objectives. We talk about issues, and we give the final stamp approval, or they give the final stamp approval. They're not really there to start searching or scouting, what have you. But what you've just said now makes absolute total sense, because we here in Sierra Leone, we have sufficient to deal with players around, than to go scouting and this is where the problem lies, because you've got people who contact people in Freetown around the FA for different reasons, and they're not genuine. So if we can identify scouts, if you like, or these people in the diaspora who can say to us, look, and I have said this, I mean, there are two people that I saw a couple of months ago. I spoke to a man called Mohamed Sasso, a really good guy. I think he's been involved in football quite extensively in America. And one of our former coaches, Coach Puzzy, Jonathan Rhodes, and he's also told me about all these players who are around there. So, I'm not saying these are the people we should appoint, but I think we should appoint, and that I would leave to the technical departments to do, and yourselves, for instance.
Thank you.
Now that we've opened lines of communications, I'll make sure that I'm in contact with you. You can also help to do that.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I don't mind doing that. I'm in the sports business, wholesale, and I don't mind helping whichever way I can. Now, Aisha, I know you got a lot to do today, and I don't want to keep you too long. I want to thank you very much for this interview, this very explosive interview, and I look forward to continue this line of communication with you.
Thank you so very much, Leslie, and again to all those listeners out there in the States. Again, it is unfortunate what happened. Probably that is my introduction to a lot of people. The slap. Okay, so I can assure you that that will not be happening again at all. And we should all join hands really to move Sierra Leone forward. Like I said to Mohammed, and like I'm saying to everybody else, it's now or never. If we don't do it now, this time, I don't think we're going to get the opportunity to do it ever.
Absolutely.
So please let's come together, work together, and push Sierra Leone football go before. Thank you so very much. Thanks.
Indeed. Thank you, and you have a wonderful day. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And those were the interviews we promised you. Please hang in there. We'll be right back.
Bikonyem key C-sharp.
Ça c'est bon ça. Ici c'est pas des messages.